that, yes, I don't think it would have been advisable for you to do otherwise. You keep this thing.
Minister, I think you have answered me,
Okay.
because otherwise we will take the
Thank
whole
you.
day. We won't get to the end of what we want to get to.
Mtongo.
Sorry, Mr.
Yes,
Still on
Commissioner.
this. Can I just check this? Minister, those 8 people that come to you confidentially, they give you their complaints.
Yes.
What did you do with those complaints? And I'm not asking you to, I note that you say you spoke to Mr. Piccoli.
Yes.
Other than that, about these 8 and their allegations, those allegations in particular or complaints, what did you do about them?
As I say, well, I know of one case, possibly, of one of them who wrote to the National Commissioner as well. But I don't know whether, I didn't inquire whether National Commissioner responded or not responded. But what did I do?
Yes.
I discussed with Advocate Piccoli. We resolved that a possible option is an inquiry, because if these things are true, they are quite grave matters, not just of HR, but there are issues there of security, and there are alleged murders in them as well.
Okay. You said to Advocate Piccoli, if these matters are true, right, they are serious. That means you did not verify them. You thought about a ministerial investigation, but you did not verify them, the truthfulness of those allegations or complaints.
I didn't, beyond what they told me and beyond what they then subsequently deposed in their affidavits.
Now, you did not verify them, and yet you took those complaints into account as if they affect in making the decision to disband the PKTT. I have a difficulty with that you didn't, you have this organization or this task team which has been endorsed by your predecessors, which has done work. You said in the morning to Ms. Sillo, you don't disagree where the National Commissioner says they have done beautiful work, great work. I think you read an excerpt on your statement. You said you don't disagree. You get complaints from 8 people. Maybe they are serious. We don't know. I'm prepared to accept you saying they are of grave seriousness, the allegations. But you don't verify them, and yet you rely on them to make a decision to disband the team. I see a problem there about how you got to that decision, that this is a factor I'm going to take into account.
Commissioner, I had no reason, even without verification, to doubt that. But I accept that there would need to be a platform that verifies, but they were serious enough. They were serious enough, and I'm honest with the Commission. Serious enough, detailed enough, with anecdotes to convince me that indeed they are serious and they need to be processed in a particular way.
I'm prepared to accept on your word that it is serious allegations that were made. I'm prepared to accept that. What I'm unable to accept or to understand is that even before you verify the truthfulness of those very serious allegations, and that in fact they implicate the task team as a team, not individuals in the team, even before you've done that verification for yourself, you take them into account towards your decision to dissolve the team. I do have a difficulty with that.
Well, I would accept that as Commissioner, you may have a difficulty, but from where I sit, listening to these people, showing me anecdotes and taking me through that and making references to incidents in some cases that they were able to verify, like whatever case number where they apply. I took, they caused me to really feel that it would be irresponsible of me not to take them serious. And I do admit here that they did influence me, rightly or wrongly, as the Commissioner says, to accept them, that I would be able to. It was a risky exercise. There are, I mean, just outside the actual instances where you receive a verbal report from somebody, but it is strong enough for you to proceed in a particular way. And it was on those bases that I took them seriously, their numbers, their names, not necessarily writing everything in terms of notes, and searched for a particular platform. I can simply say, or go on to say, I couldn't engage National Commissioner on these matters for a reason. That it was, I considered it quite beyond that in terms of how it would affect him and people under him to do that. So I preferred not to go on at all with them. I just wanted to make sure that they are with me. I don't take any chance about them, because National Commissioner is a human being. He could find himself relating it to another official who might have been affected by what they are saying, at least in terms of allegations. And then the whole thing gets contaminated in that particular way.
All right. I have a difficulty, a separate difficulty with that last part, but let me ask, out of your paragraph 71, the civil society actors that you refer to as your sources of complaints, is that a reference to Miss Mary DeHaas?
Mary DeHaas.
Okay, that's the civil society actors you refer to. We've established this SAPS members, and then Parliament. You said from Parliament.
Yes.
What is that? What are you referring to?
Well, just to exhaust that list, and Mashale and Ms. Becker, who publicized a lot of,
Yes.
made a lot of allegations. Then continue to what you are looking for, to say, let me check.
You don't discuss any members of Parliament
yes.
or anything coming out of Parliament.
There is a member of Parliament who wrote to us in the ministry, and his matter was then processed in a particular way. I was referring to that, a member of Parliament.
Adams, I think we've heard the name Adams
Yes.
here. Is that where you say Parliament, you actually mean
National
a
Assembly.
member of Parliament?
A member of Parliament.
Not Parliament itself.
No.
Because the way you've said it here, you say, I received a series of complaints from Parliament.
It's a typo. It
So
meant
it should have been
member.
a member of Parliament.
Yes.
And that would be
Accept.
Mr. Adams.
Accepted.
Okay, so you took that into account as well.
Accepted.
What he got to say.
Yes.
Okay, and then members of the public, you've mentioned Ms. Mashale and I think Ms.
Ms.
Berger.
Berger.
That's what you're referring to.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Having then addressed the complaints from people you listed, paragraph 73, all of whom are members of the service, let's now turn to what I think you term as members of civil society. I'm looking in particular from paragraph 74, after your listing of the various police members. You start with Ms. Mary De Haas, and then at paragraph 74, overleaf from paragraph 77. You then deal with Ms. Patricia Mashale.
Correct.
Without engaging necessarily with the content of Ms. Mashale's complaint, because I see that you rely on what she published on Facebook, but basically on Facebook. I think it's Ms. De Haas who also relies on press releases. Did you have opportunity, just on that, to engage with Ms. Mashale about the contents of her Facebook postings on these issues?
Both Ms. De Haas, in fact, all three of them, Ms. De Haas, Mashale, Berger, I didn't meet any one of them. I took what I was reading. In some cases, like in the case of De Haas, she wrote to me.
Apologies, Minister. Can we confine ourselves to De Haas now? I want to split them. I want to first deal with Ms. Mashale, and thereafter we'll go to De Haas. So,
yes, I picked
currently
up.
My question relates. Did you otherwise test the veracity of the claims she makes in those Facebook postings?
Not necessarily, except at one point when she made claims about people somewhere in Mpumalanga, there being camps and so on. When we went to investigate, indeed we found the camps. But we didn't tell her that we were going there to verify or to do whatever. I'm just saying that we did receive that allegation about existence of camps in Mpumalanga, and subsequent to that, SAPS made and other security units found that there were in fact camps there.
So it is on the basis of that, then you decided that the claims she makes in Facebook about SAPS no longer require verification, and you accept them at face value. Is that your position?
Well, we are using the word accept. What I did was to read.
Yes.
And having read, because I didn't speak to her, to say, well, in fact, I did speak to the National Commission about Mashal. And it did confirm that, yes, they are also, or he is also receiving a number of whatever she writes, sometimes directly to him, or he would find just allegations in one way or the other. So I got to know that what I may be receiving, he has also been receiving, and we had a description of her in the light conversation. So then that's how they are here.
Yes, and I have no difficulty in accepting that General Masemola would potentially have received the same messages. They are not directed to him. They were published by Ms. Mashale on Facebook. I have no difficulty in accepting that he would, one way or the other, have received them, whether directly or indirectly. I am not aware of General Masemola having taken drastic steps insofar as the organization of SAPS is concerned, in respect, as on the basis of those Facebook allegations. But you have, because you, Minister, you cite those Facebook claims that she makes, which you don't verify, which you state you had a conversation with General Masemola about, only to establish that they have come to General Masemola's attention. You do not indicate that you direct, if you can, or you could, or request General Masemola to investigate those claims. You do none of that. So the truthfulness or otherwise of those claims remain unknown. But they are sufficiently weighty for you to base a decision to disestablish the PKTT in December 2024. Is that a fair summation?
That would be a summation, but I think you are using quite lighter words than whatever is written, whether Facebook or elsewhere, would affect the image of SAPS, warranting your attention to do something about them. And therefore, you rely on what you see to say to what extent and so on. And in this particular case, I had a conversation with General Masemola and he confirmed that there is something like this. I am indicating here what has come to our environment, which came back as I wrote the letter that, at some point I came across something like this and something like that, and then I then indicated that. Not measuring my reliability or whatever extent of influence in me writing the directive.
I understand your answer to mean that the claims advanced by Ms. Mashale in large part affect the image of SAPS. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes.
Okay. And you consider that serious enough and therefore you accepted those allegations and acted in the manner you subsequently did?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at paragraph 77 of your statement, page 28, you state at the last line of that paragraph, are either employed in terms of the SAPS Act, and those would be the police officers, and anyone else who is not is employed in terms of the Public Service Act. And there's a distinction between the two bodies of people that work for SAPS. Is that a correct understanding?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I see here you call Ms. Mashale a former police officer. I would like to refer you to Exhibit Bundle 2 of 2. 2 of 2. Annexure CJC 55.12. And 55.12 starts at page 351. And if you have located that annexure, please turn to page 364.
I have it.
Perhaps you might be familiar with that document. It is titled SAP 96. And I think when we were considering, I don't remember its general, the implementation letter, you recall, where the head of HR was talking about the necessity to complete documents and updating the PERSAL system. You recall that conversation we had? I understood that there to have been a reference to SAP 96. If you don't recall, I'll understand. But
yeah, I won't be sure. Yeah.
Then 364 is SAP 96, as we understand it. Every single employee within SAPS